Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thank you so much for being here, for being subscribed if you are. If you are not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you are listening to this on YouTube while you're at it, go ahead and hit that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. Let's just go ahead and brighten up the place. And let's get into this conversation. Guys, I was looking and seeing the news that neneleakes and her boyfriend are apparently no longer together. And listen, I can't even say that I'm surprised. The fact that they've, I guess, made it as far as they have, to me, one, based on how quickly she got with him after her husband died, which was a tragic situation, and I don't wish that on anyone, to lose someone, especially someone like Greg, who seemed to be a very likable person. And for some people, they feel he is even a bit more likable than Nene. And honestly, some of the grace that she got was based on the fact that Nene was the loud, boisterous one, and Greg would come across as the calming, nurturing one, the voice of reason. And some people even used to clown him and say, well, he would just walk around holding an umbrella for her, opening up the doors for her. He became her glorified assistant. And hey, that could very well be seen that way as well. But also, they had been married for a long time, and it was her husband. So I would not ever disrespect her or him in that way to just relegate him to being a glorified personal assistant. He was a much older person than she was as well, and he took care of her for the majority of the marriage. And because she got to a place where she wanted to be in her career for that time period, I believe he was just happy to support her, as well as probably, shoot, I'm tired. I've been doing this thing for the most part for the majority of my life and the majority of this marriage. So if I can get some rest and peace, then I'll do that. So it probably was some of that as well. But anyway, when you lose someone like that, and then you get with someone not too long after that person unfortunately passes away, or even sometimes if you got out of a relationship, it's not so much that the other person passed away. A lot of times that next situation is seen such as that. It's seen as a situation, or more like a fling, because it's almost sort of like a rebound. Rebound isn't always because you got out of a bad situation. Sometimes a rebound, it's just what the word means, bouncing from one end to another, but it doesn't mean that you're going to stay there. So it was actually pretty crazy to me, in my personal opinion, that Nene was going around parading this guy all over social media and showcasing him that way. I commend Melody, who has been alleged to be dating, I wouldn't just say one person. She could possibly be dating several people. Dating doesn't mean you're screwing somebody. So that's the thing that people really need to get out of their minds, because sometimes people think that if someone is seen out with multiple people, that means that they're all screwing each other. Doesn't mean that. Dating means that you're getting to know the person. You're going out on dates, not just going to bed. But anyway, we don't really know what the situation is with Melody. Only people can speculate. But really, it's none of anyone's business if she doesn't reveal it. But I think it's a pretty smart thing for her to not be out here gallivanting, showcasing another person when she got out a very terrible situation, unlike her clown ex, who is out here just he was trying to, at least, but I mean, people knew that was a fake relationship anyway, but he was out here supposedly dating Sheree. That's his girlfriend. And then, rumors came out about him being with other people and all that other stuff. So, I mean, but nothing's new about him with that, because he's always been hotel. So that is what it is with him. But I'm just saying, Melody's been using wisdom. So she's not out here showcasing another person. But Nene, it was like Greg was gone for, I don't know what, a few months. And then she was already out here showcasing herself with this dude. So it just, to a lot of people, I know to me, I can only speak for myself, but I did see comments from a lot of other people. It just really seemed weird to be out and about with another man and calling this person your man so soon after Greg passed. So it also made other people think that, well, maybe she was with this dude before Greg passed away. Maybe because he was sick, he granted her the blessing, so to speak, to be with other people because he was sick and he couldn't perform and she had needs or whatever. I don't know. Everybody's minds are wrapped differently. I couldn't imagine really being in love with someone and seeing my loved one sick and just not able to really care for himself, and he's losing his life, and I'm thinking about my needs sexually. I'm just saying that's me. But I'm saying it's possible that they did have that kind of arrangement or setup. I don't know. And then there have been some people that thought that, well, even before he got sick, she was screwing around with other people, because there were rumors out there that she was with other people, as well as some people were saying that he was with other people too. So I don't know. Those are just the rumors. Okay. But at any rate, it's being reported that the relationship is over. And a lot of people are not surprised. The Neighborhood Talk, they showed it, and it was exclusively broken by Hollywood Unblocked, that they're no longer together. So she did a post on social media, and some people are assuming that these cryptic posts that she did on social media were about him. So she says, a narcissist is the devil. Narcissists do not have the ability to self-reflect. They cannot see anything wrong with what they do, and they only see fault in your reaction. And of course, that's not something she came up with. She was just copying what the definitions of a narcissist are. So those things are true. We don't know this guy, so we don't know if that's true about him, or we don't even know specifically if she was speaking about him, but more likely than not, she was, right? Because usually that's what these people do with these cryptic posts, as if it is even going to affect the other person, especially if the person is a narcissist, because as we all know, narcissists don't care about anybody but themselves anyway. So a post on social media speaking about how narcissists behave is definitely not going to affect them. They could actually care less, okay? But with that being said, it's kind of funny, because his wife, not ex-wife, his wife is suing Nene for alienation of affection. Now, they're from North Carolina. They live in North Carolina. I don't want to say they're from North Carolina, but they live in North Carolina. That's where their residence is. And that state has a law on the books where a spouse can sue someone who has been committing adultery with their spouse for alienation of affection. So it's not just women that can sue another woman. It can definitely be a man that could sue another man. And to be honest with you, when those laws were written, I believe it was more so directed at men, because we all know when these laws were written and put on the books, it was primarily about Caucasian men. Most of the laws that were written in this country, they didn't really have anything to do with women at all, unless it was speaking about what women could not do. Like at one point, women were not able to vote. So I'm quite sure that that law, when it was written, it was really speaking about a man who was married suing another man who he found to be screwing his wife. Because the men back in the day, they would have the wives would be taking care of the homes, they would, have the kids, and then the man would be the one out there working and taking care of all of the responsibilities of the home. So, hey, if the husband came home and the wife was screwing the mailman, just using it as an example, that's what those laws are really directed towards. But it's about a spouse. It's not just a husband can sue another man for alienation of affection. It's about a spouse suing someone who's been committing adultery with their spouse. So as times have changed, some of those things have been, flipped on its head. So as we know, many years ago, Fantasia was sued for alienation of affection because the guy she was dating at the time, I think she met him at a T-Mobile store where he was working. He was married, and the wife of that guy sued Fantasia because, of course, it was an opportunity because she was able to sue someone who was at that time seen as having money. Fantasia, she's a celebrity, right? I don't believe she won. I believe the wife lost that case, but Fantasia went through it. She had to spend money for legal fees. She had to go to a deposition. I don't know if it ever went to trial. It may have went to trial, I think, actually, and she lost in court. But now you've got Nene being sued for alienation of affection because, again, Nene is seen as a celebrity. Some may say she's a public figure and a reality star, and some, may not see her as a celebrity, but at either rate, she is known and she has had opportunities to really make great money. So the wife sued her. Now, I'm honestly of that thought that this man knew what he was doing. And I believe that he and the wife were in on it together. That's been my personal opinion. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. But that's what I always thought. Because when I found out that he was married, it was bad enough at first when I saw that she was dating this guy when Greg's body hadn't even gotten cold and completely rotted in the grave yet, that she was already out gallivanting with this guy. But again, when I found out that he was married, I said, I don't know, something doesn't seem right to me about this guy, especially when I found out, I believe Tasha K reported that he had his own suit line, menswear line, and this was something that would help him to boost his following, get more eyes on his brand, and all of those good things like that. So I believe that Nene was really I wouldn't say in love, but she definitely had all her feelings in with this guy. And I don't believe that he was really like that with her. And so to see that they've now broken up and she's still involved in this litigation, because I haven't heard anything about them settling or the wife dropping the lawsuit at this point. So it seems like it's still moving forward. It's really sad. But when I was scrolling through the comment section on the Neighborhood Talk about this post, I saw a comment that stood out to me. And I don't know if this person is telling the truth, but they said it. And although a lot of people are saying things like you lose them the same way you get them, and this is karma. Isn't it funny how a narcissist is calling another person a narcissist? So I guess some people see her as a narcissist too. I don't know if I would say she's a narcissist, but Nene definitely has a lot of high and mighty thoughts about herself, and she, to me, does seem to be one of those people that doesn't really take accountability for her own actions. But this comment stood out to me, and I'm just going to read it, and it says, I know someone who is friends with him. He 100% was using her and said she was vulnerable, so it was going to be an easy task. And someone responded to that comment, said, and I don't feel sorry for her, it's karma. Listen, I wouldn't say that this person is lying because, again, I don't know. But I believe a lot of people can agree with that because, like I said, when I found out that he was married, before the lawsuit was filed against her or anything like that. But when I found out that he was married and that he had his own, he was a small business owner, aren't they all, why don't they all, I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with working at a great company. Why don't these people ever connect with someone that's like working at a tech firm, or they have like a great career working in someone else's company where they have really great benefits and they have a really great salary. It's almost like these days everyone has to be an entrepreneur and a business owner. And honestly, if you look at the statistics based on what the IRS puts out there, a lot of small businesses really are not making it like that. Just because you say you own your own business doesn't mean you really have money like that. There are people who have really amazing careers that are making $400,000, $500,000 a year. Like, it's a real thing. So I don't think there's anything wrong with having skills, having education, and working at a great company versus saying I own my own business. But I'm just going off on a little bit of a tangent with that. But again, you couldn't get with somebody like that. This guy was an opportunist, in my personal opinion. But apparently now it's over, as far as we can see, as much as it has been reported. But something else that's over, it looks like, is the fact that even though Nene has been affiliated with the Real Housewives of Atlanta for years, I guess they're tired of seeing her on the past promo and they want to let her know about it. So we know Andy and whoever else makes the decisions at Bravo for the Real Housewives franchises, he's brought back Sheree on the show several times. Kim, she had her own spinoff. And even on this most recent episode of Watch What Happens Live, they had purchased one of Kim Zolciak's wigs that she's been hawking on her website to try to come up with some coins for all the money that she owes. And they bought one of her wigs and had it as the bartender for the most recent episode, right? They don't seem to want to have anything to do with Nene anymore because they showcase some past promo from that season where they first brought Cynthia Bailey and Phaedra Parks onto the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And where Nene was on the end, she's no longer. They've removed her. They have just redone history, okay? And I don't know what the message was really that they were trying to send with that, because of course they can't show any past. I don't want to say they can't, but I don't see them showing any past episodes of the Real Housewives of Atlanta without showing the parts where Nene was on the show. I just don't think it's possible. And to have editing do all of that, it would cost a lot of money. And two, that stuff is done and it's over with. So why wouldn't they continue to make money off of her if they have come to some sort of settlement? Because we know that she sued NBC Universal, Bravo TV, Andy Cohen. She sued them and she was trying to have the network boycotted. She wanted people to not watch the show, The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And she was also out here calling Andy Cohen a racist. Now, I'm not saying what they did was right, but if they want to be on their professional petty, then I can't say that I don't understand, because to that old saying, to bite the hand that feeds you, so to speak, even though she was no longer on the network, she was at one point, and they really are the reason that she got to where she is. Now, a lot of people can say, because there was a lot of people in the comment section on the Instagram post for OMFG Reality TV saying she built that show, she built that franchise on her back, and blah, 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 blah. But people have to be really realistic when it comes to these things, okay? Yeah, that stuff may be true, and the show definitely benefited off of her antics and how she really was in the beginning, more genuinely herself. But she got a big head over the years, and people seem to forget about that. And some people may say, well, she had the right to get a big head because she was getting bigger, her star was growing, she was shining, and you shouldn't let anybody dim your light. Nobody's saying anyone was trying to dim her light, but if you look at those past episodes, as it was getting closer to the end, I could understand why some people call her a narcissist. I'm not saying that she is, but her actions in some of the scenes and some of the things that she was doing, it just made her appear to act as if she was better than everyone else, and her head was getting bigger. So I wouldn't even really say she was a narcissist. I would just say she was extremely prideful. And even the Bible says that pride comes before a fall. And I think so many people really forget that. There's nothing wrong with being humble. And I'm not saying humble and humility means you have to walk around lowly with your head bowed down and not looking in anyone's eyes. And acting as if you're lower than everyone else. That's not what humility is. Humility is just really knowing that you are great, but also remembering where you came from. And so not acting as if you're really better than anyone else, just being grateful for the shoes that you were in and being graceful and having integrity. And she, in a lot of ways, she was becoming a braggart. I remember that season when Claudia Jordan was on there, and I know a lot of people don't like Claudia, but I remember that season and she was doing well. She was getting Broadway plays. She was getting things. She was booked and busy, and she would brag to the ladies about it. And a lot of them, they tried to support her, but she was just in a lot of ways nasty about it. And nobody really wants to support someone for the most part. Most people don't want to support someone when they feel as if that person has a big head and you're just like obnoxious. That's the word that I really wanted to use. She became obnoxious. It's hard to be around somebody like that. So I believe that they're just kind of showing her, whether it's right or not, I believe they're just trying to show her like, look, we definitely acknowledge that you were a part of this show, but you said you didn't want us to use your image and your likeness. So how does this look? And like I said, they may be on their professional petty, but they got the money and the time to do it if they want to. And Nene was doing a lot. She was doing a lot. She was saying a lot when it came to the network and when it came to the show. And she was not taking any accountability and doing any real self-reflection. If she could have removed the pride, she probably would have still been on the show, to be honest with you, because I believe that there is a good person in there, but that star mentality that sometimes people like her get, they just kind of forget where they came from. And she just started really acting too good for them, too good for this, too good for a lot of people. And you are not better than anyone else, you know? So as much as people may say comments like this person has said, she built the franchise on her back. No matter what she has said in the past, you can't erase sis from that history that she'll forever be a part of. I'd be pissed. Bravo needs to quit playing with her. Nene is Real Housewives of Atlanta. Yeah, well, that's someone's opinion, but they kind of can do what they want to do. I don't see them not showing past episodes without her in it. I don't think that they're going to go to that extent, but I believe somebody was sending a message, and we don't know what happens on the back end or behind the scenes unless someone exposes it really. So who knows what happened recently as to cause someone to put something out there like that. I really don't know. But, like I said, yeah, somebody at Bravo's being on their professional petty. And even Andy Cohen said it was an interview somewhere where someone asked him about Nene, and he was responding basically to what she said, where she was basically telling Andy that she didn't want him even speaking about her anymore and to keep her name out of his mouth. So he said on his professional petty, I think I'll do Nene a favor and do like she asked, and I'll keep her name out of my mouth. You have to really be careful. Listen, this is their world. This is their world. You take that how you want, but you can't be on their field and tell them how to play ball. You may not like how they play ball, but if you want to be on their field and play their game, then you have to play the game the way that they want to play it, or you're going to be X'd off the team. And that's pretty much what it has been for all of these years, because even after her coming out and saying all of those things about the network, about NBC Universal, about Andy Cohen, when she would do other interviews, of course, some people were being messy, but they would ask her questions, would you go back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta? And she, in my opinion, delusionally has said on those occasions, well, yeah, I would be open to going back, but we would have to have some conversations and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, you bit the hand that fed you. Those people are never going to work with you again. There's some bridges, you burn them, you can never cross back over them. So you have to be careful about the bridges that you burn, because sometimes it's done. There's no bridge that can be rebuilt for you to pass over it again. It's complete. It's finito. And I just believe that once she went there and called Andy Cohen a racist, and I don't know if he is or not. I personally don't believe that he is. Does he possibly have his prejudices? Because there is a difference. Possibly. Does he have his preferences? Absolutely. But you can't be out here calling your boss a racist and think that they're going to hire you back to the job. It's just never going to happen. I don't think that they would be that desperate. In my personal opinion, I believe that they would end the franchise before they would ever do that. That's just my personal opinion. But you guys can let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth. I'm just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I just wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.